Sometimes it's not so simple. Sometimes you have to set it up yourself. So let's take a look. Alright, so currently I don't have my sets of parentheses already equal to 0. So I have to get it to that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can factor. Because remember, I'm looking for factors. So what do? I factor. So what is common in both of these? That's a times equals 0. I have a 5x in both of them. If I take out the 5x here, it leaves me x. If I take the 5x here, it leaves me 5. And it's still equal to 0. So what are my two factors here? If you can believe it or not, this right here is your first factor. Just because it's not in parentheses doesn't mean it's not a factor. It's just important that you're multiplying one thing by another thing. So you could put it in parentheses if you wanted. So my first factor is 5x, and I set that equal to 0. And my second factor is x plus 5, and I set that equal to 0. So now I need to go back and solve. How do I solve the first one? I have 5x equals 0. 5x means 5 times x. I'm going to divide by 5 and divide by 5. X equals 0. How do I solve the next one? I subtract 5 and I subtract 5. Cancel out. X equals negative 5. Now remember, I need to write my answer, or what we call now the solution. So my solution is 0, comma negative 5. Don't think that 0 isn't an answer and you don't have to write it. You do have to write it. Which means if I plug in 0 into my answer, I'd get 0. If I plug in negative 5 into my problem, I still get 0. So let me write that down. What this means is 5 times 0 squared plus 25 times 0 equals 0. If I solve this, 0 does equal 0. And if I've solved the other one, this would also be 0 equals 0. So I know that both these answers are correct. So let's look at the next one. I have 3 times 2 times 2 times x minus 3 times x equals 0. So, what do both of these have in common? They have in common a 3 and a 3, an x and an x. So my greatest common factor is 3x, and I put it out in front and I put a parentheses. And I see what I have left over. In the first group, what do I have left over? 2 times 2, which is 4x, minus, what do I have left over in the second group? It seems like nothing, but I have to hold the place. You have to write something so that you know there was something there. And I hold the place with a 1. And remember, it's equal to 0. So now, I'm going to take my factors and run with it from here. This first one out here outside of the parentheses is my first factor. 3x equals 0. And my other factor is what's in the parentheses. And I just need to solve both of these. I'm going to divide by 3, x equals 0. And I'm going to take the other one. I'm going to add 1 and add 1. 4x equals 1. How do I solve? Divide by 4 and divide by 4. X equals 1/4. So, don't forget your final answer, or the solution as we'll call it from here on out. 0, 1/4. Great job!